Hi there, Loy Machedo speaking to you from loymachedo.com and Loy Machedo TV. A friend of mine happened to write to me about academic education, and he just wrote to me stating that, Loy, listen, I'm just giving you the gist of it. It seems that he doesn't have a degree. He doesn't have a degree, and apparently his parents, society, and everyone else predicted his doom. So he was pretty concerned, and he sent me a letter and saying, can you help me out? I don't feel like studying. My heart is not there, blah, 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 whatever else. So now, let me give you my opinion on the academic system, the academic education. Now, first and foremost, just ask yourself, the academic system, where did it originate from? It originated from the typical World War industrial age scenario, where you had one teacher and you had mass production. You had a huge number of students whom the teacher had to teach, and it followed the hierarchical system whereby science was at the top because they needed to invent weapons, they needed to invent stuff, and scientific superiority was better than other countries, which showed if you are better in science, obviously you are far superior. Then you had commerce because you had to manage business, you had to make the business run. 1 second, hold on. Hello. All right, so I was saying about commerce, that is until the phone rang. So what happens is commerce was the second stream where they wanted to run businesses. Now the third stream was arts. Now obviously when you have wartime, you do not have any need for having artists, and you do not have any need for having creative people like in the sense of dancers, in the sense of painters. So that was the hierarchical structure. Now the World War finished off, we stopped having these wars. But the trend has still continued in the academic world. However, if you actually have a look, today, who are the highest paid people? Sports, people who are creative in nature, people who have different kind of intelligence, like sports personalities, you have creative personalities, you have artists. So these are the ones who get paid exceptionally high. The second rung of the ladder is, okay, those people who manage. The third rung of the ladder is, yes, doctors, and obviously the fourth rung of the ladder, that is laborers. And today, if you actually look at it, there is a new, there is a new platform where people can earn money. Half the jobs that have been created in this few years never existed, 5 to 10 years ago. Like, for example, bloggers. You didn't have social media mavens. You did not have, web-based businesses running. So that is not covered in the academic education. And also the most important thing that the academic education does not cover is, real skills and common sense that is required in the real world, like the street smart. That is not being covered there. The only reason why academic education is so important is primarily because, in order for you to climb higher, you need to get grades which are recognized by society, whom half of them do not think. And then in order to get a college, you need to have good grades in school. In order to get into, higher colleges, you need to look at the grades of your, the lower levels. And finally, it keeps going on to a point of education inflation, as Sir Ken Robinson said it. I mean, once upon a time, if you had just a high school degree, it would suffice. Today, you need to have then it came to having a bachelor's degree, then you'd get a job. Today, the trend is if you have a master's degree, you will get a job. Now, the trend is, even if you have a master's degree, you may not get a job, you need to get a PhD. So there's always an educational inflation. Now, why is it that I look down on the academic education? Let me tell you a couple of reasons. Let me give you 5 of my own 5. The first one is, look at the teachers. The teachers are underpaid. So what do you expect a chap who gets paid just maybe $1,000 or $2,000? What in the world is he going to teach you? He's going to just mug up the same stuff that he gets every day and vomit it out to you, and he's going to tell you the same thing. Swallow my vomit and vomit it out in the papers. So that's what you need to do. So the first one is, when you have a teacher whose thinking level and pay grade level is so small, what do you expect? They're not going to think out of the world, okay? The first one. Second one is, most of the teachers are failures in real life. I mean, look at it. They don't get any other job. That's why they take up teaching. And yeah, okay, teaching is a noble job. Okay, don't get me wrong. It's pretty noble. Mentors, trainers, all of them do that. But you look at school, what is it that they do different? They have to study the same crappy stuff and, give it to you every time. That doesn't mean teachers are not good people. Don't get me wrong. Teachers are good people. They're very nice people. But they're not competent enough to survive in the real world apart from schools. The third one is, I mean, has the education system evolved? You're still learning history. You're still learning the boring old stuff. I mean, half the stuff, it doesn't make sense. If you ask me, do I use algebra? No, I don't use algebra. Do I use physics? No, I don't use physics. Biology, chemistry, boring. It sucks. Yuck, I hate it. So I don't know why they are still forcing it down in everyone's throat. Then point number 4, artistic creativity, that is there, like music, like drawing, like painting, like acting. That has so much of juice in it. That has so much of like enthusiasm and so much of spirit. Do schools focus on that? No, absolutely not. They are pretty narrow-minded there. And last, if not the least, I think one of the biggest problems that our education system is facing today is it is scared to evolve. It has just remained what it is. Since the dawn of Google, okay, the information age, today information is available so easily. People can educate themselves. Look at me, for instance. I didn't complete my degree, okay? I did not complete my degree. But today I educate myself. You see the books at the back, it's not for bragging rights. It is for me to learn. I always invest in books. I always read. I always buy more and more books. I'm into audiobooks. I'm into online educational programs. So I have to educate myself. So I'm not saying education is bad, but academic education, it's very narrow-minded. And the worst part is comparing your grades to someone else, which is stupid. It's like comparing a fish to a monkey and saying, oh, you can't climb trees. So what I'm trying to tell you here is academic education has its drawbacks. It's very narrow-minded in its scope and it's very limited. Just because you have got a degree or a PhD or an MBA, so what? Hogwash. That doesn't mean you have achieved anything great. What I firmly believe is people need to look at the broader perspective. Today, education is a non-stop phenomenon. You've got to educate yourself every time. There are a lot of creative intelligences out there, a lot of different forms of creativity. Just invest in yourself and believe in yourself and choose a path. Choose a path because today information is available so easily, education is available so easily, and you can make something out of yourself. In this globally connected world, I think opportunities and possibilities are endless. So this is Loy Machedo giving you his opinion on the academic education, which is so narrow-minded. If you think anything different, I'd love to hear. If you agree with me or disagree with me, let me know, because this is what I firmly believe. Thank you very much for watching, and this is me saying goodbye for now.